Today's Wednesday, October 19, 2016. You're tuned into the Elevator Radio Show. Hey, everybody, got a good show for you today, so stay tuned. Here it comes.
You're tuned into the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Man, it is good to be back. I apologize if that is blaring in your air balls and your eyeballs are about to fall out of your head because it's so loud. I apologize. I almost didn't do the show. Literally, I spent the last hour trying to figure out why the audio would not record, and all I could figure out was that of all the USB connections I've got on the back of my computer, some of them like the camera, some of them do not. Some of them like the mixer, some of them do not. And I do not know what happened, but Clean Crew last week somehow disconnected a whole bunch of them when they vacuumed, and it's just been a frustrating morning. So, excuse me, I was this close to not doing the show, but we only have one camera, which is totally fine. It is great to be back after a week of not being here. I want to thank everybody for your emails, for your thoughts, for your prayers, for everybody thinking about me last week, especially those of you up at the NASA Wisconsin Elevator Symposium. I greatly appreciate that, and it was so nice to hear from so many of you who emailed, who called, who left me voicemails asking how I was doing, and for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I had some hardware removed from my shoulder and last Tuesday, which went pretty well. The side effects from it have been just that I'm so freaking tired. I'm tired. By the time 2 o'clock rolls around, I am like ready to call it a day. So I do have the hardware. My boys the other night at dinner asked, what are you going to do with that, Dad? And I said, I don't know. And then one of them said, why don't you give it away on the prize pack giveaway? And I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't think anybody wants my medal that's been in my body for 3 years. It is pretty cool, though. I didn't take a picture. I did take a picture, but I didn't put it on the show notes here. But yeah, it'd probably be the most expensive prize pack giveaway for no other reason that it's a tiny titanium plate with screws that are, I'm assuming, surgical stainless steel. So I would say that probably the most expensive. Actually, I should look that up on eBay and see what those things are going for. So anyway, it's good to be back. Unfortunately, this show is filled, or it starts off with a terrible, terrible story, which just had me floored. I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, I got to roll through all this stuff as quickly as I can because I'm running out of time, and I apologize for that. But I'm just glad we got the show up, and it's online. So if it's extremely loud in your ears, I apologize. I'll try to get that all taken care of next week. And if it's too low, let me know. And that's about it. So again, thanks for all your kind get well wishes and speedy recovery wishes. Hopefully by next week I will be back to back to normal or better normal than normal, because the problem is that I'm having a hard time sleeping, and so I get like one good night's sleep every 4 nights, and that's just kind of, dragging me down. So anyway, all right, up next we'll get right to the news, and we'll have you out of here in hopefully in record time. So up next, news.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
Right before I get into the news, I do want to wish Glenn and Sharon Duncan the best as they go through a organ transplant on Monday morning. That is still scheduled to happen. And if you weren't aware, Glenn Duncan from PSI and Elevators Riders Riding Club is going to be donating his kidney to his lovely wife Sharon. It's kind of been in the plans for quite some time. Please think about him as you go about your daily business on Monday. I'm sure that they will appreciate that, and I will share information hopefully in next week's show on how they're doing. So, and if you want to go check out the kind of what is involved with being an organ donor, go and click on the video link. I am an organ donor. I haven't done it, but I am one. That's part of that program, and I encourage anybody who is interested in doing so to do so as well. I know it's not always possible depending on our health and whatnot, but yeah, Glenn and Sharon, speedy recovery. Looking forward to hearing from you as soon as the procedure is done. Okay, first news article of the show. This is an article that you would assume would happen in a third world country, not here in the United States. Apparently, an infant dies after stroller plunges down elevator shaft. I'm going to let everybody read that on their own, but apparently what happened was the mom was basically pushed her child in a stroller into an open elevator shaft. There was no luck about it. The child fell. It was a newborn, just about a month old, fell on top of the car. Car started moving. So this is awful. If this happened in China, I guarantee somebody would be tried very expediently and put to death. Not that I say that's the right way of doing it, but this is bad. This is so bad, and what's going to happen in the future to whomever was working on the elevator, it will be interesting to see. But at what point are criminal charges not pursued in a case like this? It just killed me. I couldn't believe what I was reading, and this has got to be one of the worst fatalities involving a general bystander, a passenger that I've read in a long time. I think Susan Hart, that one was equally as bad. So these are the kinds of accidents that are 100% preventable. So I do want to learn more about what happened in this situation, and hopefully I can share that with everybody. It's just not good whatsoever. And I'm sure you already, this news article has probably kind of floated around the internet space and Facebook and all that, but it's just awful. Somebody tell me how this can happen in the United States or North America when our codes are so strong and strict, and our workforce is equally trained and should know what they're doing, and it's just terrifying. So next article is equally as horrific. DailyMail.com. This did not happen in the United States, but in a Malaysian shopping center. I can't watch the video because I'm a dad and I just can't do it. But to recap, it shows a father with a toddler on his shoulders, and the toddler falls over the side. Unbelievable. So, I swear I start to have panic attacks every time I get an escalator. Not that I do it very often, but literally I get on the escalator and I start to breathe like, okay, even though Eric just relax. His wife Brianna. Okay, more advertisements. Next news article. A couple articles on the show today involving facilities, housing facilities where elevators are not working. This one, I'm not going to click on it because it's going to preload an ad, but apparently there's transfers available to high-rise residents with no elevator in it, and that's the least that they can do. And I'll get into the next article, the article further down in the show notes. It kind of talks about low-income housing, how private companies are, in that particular case or that article, were in charge of the one, and you wonder if low bid wins when it comes to overseeing types of projects, and whether or not we should have more interface with governments and kind of keeping an eye on things. There's some truly good arguments on both sides. Okay, Travelers Today has a really cool photo about the first in the world, China's longest sightseeing escalator. Take a look at this photo. My goodness, this is a huge escalator system to get people up, and it's enclosed, which means that it should be in pretty good shape to last as long as possible. Hopefully, oh man, I do not want. Oh man, I just clicked on something I shouldn't have, and now, okay, good, I'm okay. Oh man, I hate linking articles for any of you that like pull you into some other crap that you did not ask for. So I apologize if that happened. So, okay, woman's award for airport escalator fall overturned. I don't know. I'm assuming this is in pounds, and the Irish Times. Actually, I don't think it's in pounds. Maybe it is. I don't know. Irish Times reporting that woman's 40,000 award for injuries received in the fall of a Dublin airport escalator has been overturned by the Court of Appeal. So I wish more of this kind of thing would happen in cases that it should. Obviously, I don't think. When something does happen and there are parties to be blamed, I think, not blamed, but found at fault, I do think that they should be held accountable. But apparently this was a case where Miss Lavin lost her balance and fell on an escalator departures, nasty injury on her head, and let's see here. Yeah, anyways, you can read about that. I just wish you read more about this, these kind of articles. So now she's pretty much screwed. But here in the States, they don't do any of that stuff. It's pretty much let's try to minimize our losses by settling, no matter what the outcome is. Okay, scary people are among us. There are a couple articles regarding elevators and escalators this week in that I did not link up. This one was scary people are among us. And again, I don't know why the news has to even cover this. Man damages elevator in Scream's free Kodak Black. Why in the hell does Channel 7 News in Miami find that this is, one of those things that should be, shared online? I don't quite understand, and I apologize for doing the same. But the reality is that there's stupid stuff out there that truly does not need to be shared at all. So yeah, and this dude looks pretty scary. Okay, here's a good story. Some feel good if you're a dog owner. I was a dog owner at one time, but man, watch the video. A fast-acting hotel manager saves dog from elevator disaster, and it's one of those deals where the dog got in the elevator and started going with the leash in it, or vice versa. Thank goodness somebody was there. That's all I can say. Kind of scary. And if you got a pet owner, if you live in a condo, it's just important information to share with, or have a client that's condo board or whatever. It's important information to share so that dogs do not get strangled, and it happens more often than not. Okay, residents in Daytona Housing Authority, high-rise loose elevator. Yeah, again, when you're living in a housing authority or something like that, and there's not enough elevators, I would not live there anymore if you could help it. I know low income does not always give us the option to choose where we live, but just kind of happens that way. Okay, next news article, WCBI.com reporting apparently phone.
There have been a few setbacks for police in Tupelo who are ready to move into their new modern facility.
Anyway, they're having issues with their just getting their elevator passed and phone issues, stuff like that. So in Tupelo, Mississippi, hopefully they get that done pretty soon. Okay, next news article, new Brighton apartments elevator still unusable. Times.com reporting. And it's one of those deals where you're going to log in and subscribe. Forget all that, because the internet should be, content should be free to some extent. But, yeah, you can read about that. Link is in the show notes. And this next article, I did want to let all of our terrorist friends know about this with any kind of keywords or whatnot. But I do kind of worry about something like this happening in the United States. I'll let everybody read the article if you're clicking through the show notes. And I'm not going to really talk about what actually happened here, but there's a Ukrainian rebel commander, and he was killed. And if you're listening to the podcast, he was killed in a bombing, elevator bombing. And I think that, unfortunately, when you think about really bad things happening in the United States from people that just do not like us, I'm not going to give any more, but you start thinking about, man, where could you put stuff to make big issues happen? And that's one of those deals. So I didn't want to talk too much about that, be honest with you. But okay, sheriff's deputy is paralyzed from waist down from elevator accident. This is a terrible accident, and this is one we reported on exactly, or when it happened. But the sheriff's deputy is lucky to be alive, and but he is paralyzed from the waist down. and the crash that occurred is far from over in terms of the investigative reporting, and a lawsuit, multi-million-dollar lawsuit, has been launched, which, for good reason. All that I can hope is that something comes out of this that is preventable in the future, so something like that doesn't happen. So, anyway, okay, Andrew Reams.
I'm Beowulf Boris.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. Andrew Reams, I don't know if you, I know I've mentioned him on the program before, but he is an elevator videographer, and a friend of mine, and he was invited to go present at an Autism Reaches conference in Alabama. I encourage you to check out what he's got going on and subscribe to his YouTube channel. And good guy, really good guy, gives a lot back to the community, and can't say enough good things about him and what he does. Okay, delivery man crushed in mall elevator. Oh, did not happen in the United States. Did happen in the city of Cebu. Yeah. And again, this is the kind of accident you would suspect would happen in a country that perhaps does not have a whole lot of oversight on their elevators and whatnot. Come on, Mousy. And it's a tragedy. Hopefully one that never happens again in the United States or anyone in the world for that matter. So, okay, if you want to read about the Elevator U conference in Quincy, Illinois, Elevator World, I'm sorry, had covered that. It's actually been printed already, but there is a post online through the Elevator U website. So click on that. Link is in the show notes. A lot of great photographs. So thank you, Elevator World, for covering that that event. Okay, kind of a scary incident that happened in Albany. I'm not 100% sure if it's Albany, New York, or where this is at, but apparently firemen investigating motor failure in State Quad elevator. Firemen arrived at State Quad Tower after receiving an emergency call reporting a trapped student in an elevator accompanied by the smell of smoke. Students continued evacuating the building while the first responders began their investigation. There was an electrical fire in one of the three elevators, but the investigation found no injuries or trapped students. However, the firemen did find the issue to be a bad motor failure in the Eastman Tower. So, kind of interesting. It's amazing to see that it took 15 minutes to evacuate the building. You hope that that's a acceptable time in doing so. I don't know. Okay, here's a great article. Businessman pretty much arrested after screwing customer. Man, I hate tricks like this. I think we talked about this article before. Oh, come on, mouse. You know what? I'm going to kill my computer. New Hyde Park man duped out of $45,000. A 45G elevator, police say, and apparently he promised to. I'm sure there's more to this story than most of us even realize, but reality is that he's arrested after grand larceny, which is a big, big chunk of change to cheat somebody out of. So remember that. And I think business owners that screw people should be put in jail. Bottom line. Okay, this is kind of cool. How many escalators do you think are in the state of Wyoming? I know if you're scrolling through, you've already seen. Gosh, I hate pop-ups. I got to put the pop-up thing here because it drives me absolutely nuts. State of Wyoming has 2 escalators. Actually, it's 2 sets of escalators, or 4 total. It's pretty interesting. How many? I wonder what the lowest number of escalators there are in a particular state. Maybe Wyoming's got it down, It's interesting. So, I like Wyoming. It's a cool state. I don't think they have, I think their tax rate is low too. I don't know. And last news article of the program, if you are in need of continuing education credits, NASA International's got some great opportunities for you. They're in, right now in their Canadian Regional Fall Workshop is going on in Toronto, Canada. They got a Florida Code Update Seminar October 26th in Clearwater Beach, Florida, and then a whole bunch of stuff in November. So, man, if you need education, that's the place to be. Encourage you to become a member of NASA International as well. Great organization to be part of. And I was not able to attend the Wisconsin Elevator Symposium last week, but my Jim Bjorkquist, our sales manager, went instead. And I got to tell you, he was thoroughly impressed by the organization as a whole. So nice job to Emerald and Felicity and Bob for a great event. So Okay, well, I pretty much cruised through all that in about 20 minutes, and that's about it. So hopefully next week I have a little bit more time to put the show together and not have to rush through everything. But as always, thank you for tuning in today, and we'll be back next Wednesday with another show, hopefully a little bit longer. If not, that's okay too. And thanks for tuning in. Be safe out there. We will talk to you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.